mic test. So this is the Meshy.AI. Checking the samples here. One of its user, probably named Dark Nomad, trying to generate an Iron Man-like outfit here. So far so good. The details are good. The anatomies are correct. Except the hands are a little bit messy and looks messed up with wires. So I couldn't able to feel the mechanical joints. So it looks like a bending metal or fake mechanical joints. Think about RX-78 Gundam in anime series before they started run Zeta Gundam shows with realistic mechanical joints. This one is unrealistic. But we could put some use here with the artistic hands and technology. You may be able to revise the armature, the mesh. This one looks fine. Could be bendy, or we can cut this mesh into part to make a realistic mechanical joints when controlled by armature. Abs, probably bendy. This one is good for adding armature to the animation. I haven't tried the Meshy.AI for the first time, but the same basic here, either text to 3D or provide reference by image and then translate into 3D. This one's almost good, but they still need a lot of improvement like this one. The thighs accidentally attached with the robotic shoulder, so probably you need something to cut this part here. The arms and the thighs should not be joined like that. This one accidentally joined the arm cannon and the thighs. Look, there's some work. This requires some cleanup with Blender by editing out the faces. The legs here needs to disassemble into parts in order to make a workable legs. Otherwise it looks kind of messy. And I'm gonna open in Blender here to see what it looks like. Regarding about the mechanical joints versus mechanical 3D model using Meshy.AI. If I'm gonna use it on, if I'm gonna import the 3D, if I'm gonna export this as a 3D model and then I'm gonna import to Blender, it might not work. It needs a lot of revision by cutting out part by part and remove some errors like this one, for example. Shout out to this user number 2304719. I think it's username. This one here I created by hand. So you can check out in my YouTube channel, Rave Dave Machina channel, where I upload the video on how I built this Gundam GMS inspired robot model by hand. I didn't create it using Meshy.AI. Instead, I created this robot by hand from scratch. I used some reference from the Google to give ideas and inspiration for the RX-78's Gundam's body, like this arms and shoulder. The chest here, probably I got it from Armored Core 3. I made my own version of the GM head. This looks like a Kung Fu runner. Here's what I mean why I need to... Here's the reason why the Meshy.AI model needs to cut out all the messes, including this faulty accidental mesh, like this arm joined to the thighs and also the cannon. Look at my arms. Look at my arms that I created. You can move it individually without getting bent. Look, the mechanical parts, although I made it something simple instead of getting too complicated because I'm learning about mechanical joints basic. So look, no bendy stuff on each of the parts like the forearms and the bicep. And I even created this realistic joint here. Look, this is from the left and this is from the right. So one more time here. See? It looks like it's an actual workable mechanical pivot joints, swivels and stuff. And if you're gonna do some animation, you can adjust it with the blue circle from the Rigify. Fine adjustments. And the legs here, no problem. Although a little bit weird a bit, but it will do. You won't see from the far distance unless if you're gonna do some animated video montage about fully attention to detail mechanical parts. But if I'm gonna make it on an action, probably it won't notice some slight pulls here. But as long as the joints of the robot looks mechanically correct, if I'm gonna put here with this meshy, you're gonna have to cut out the faulty meshes, fix the accidental glued parts. You need to cut out each part of the mesh robot here in order to make it separate by using the separation tool like this one. For example, I'm gonna revert back to object here, choose the meshes, I highlight this part, Alt P, P, and then by selection. That's it. I haven't tried the Mesh.AI, but I'm gonna upload on the next video and see how this Mesh.AI can do. If you're gonna have to concern about the copyright in Stable Diffusion or other similar text-generated AI art like the powerful Midjourney or the CAI, probably the only concern is they're using some image references borrowed, so it might raise some concern here about copyright. However, before the AI art generator is invented, there are some professional artists who done by pencil or just drew art using a stylus and a tablet, and they're using similar style of the anime, let's say the anime art style that used from Saber Marionette or in Gundam Seed style, and then they use it as inspiration and for that anime style, and then you use it to draw it, there will be no problem. But in AI generated, the style seems okay, but the pose almost close to the original artwork, which is a bit concerning, unless there is some loopholes that needed in order to make appear as unique as possible. Quite a little bit controversial, probably especially to the activists who against AI art and trying to preserve the traditional way of drawing with soul. AI art, if you're gonna use AI art, you need some guidance with a professional artist, draw by hand, because if you're gonna start using AI without understanding the fundamentals of drawing, because creativity is expression, mic test, creativity is expression, you may able to use AI art in some logo designing if you want to make it quick work, but it requires some correction here, paying attention to the detail. But if you're gonna create it for the art competition, the judges need to become more pro in observing the fraud if the art 3D or 2D is done by hand and not AI. If you're gonna use AI as a medium for art competition, you gotta have to make sure that use only as a reference and then start create by your own scratch. there's a lot of news here about AI. Stable diffusion, mid-journey. I don't know if they use some copyrighted images, unless if they try to mix it up and make it possibly safe. That would be up to you, or otherwise you're gonna have to work it on your own and use that AI generated as a reference. But if you're gonna look for the anatomy and perspective, don't use the AI as a reference. Use some realistic pictures or some professional legendary anime artists who study about perspective. There'll be some useful improvements here on how to use the tool properly like this AI. So you need some knowledge on how to use the AI only on some certain basis. But if you're gonna make some fan art here and you want to done it faster or something, instead of gonna rely on AI art, you're gonna have to create your own library of tools. Probably this will be suit best for the 3D designers like me. But for AI, you're gonna have to rely some references. Oops, I said if you're gonna do some 2D art, traditional or done by digital, by pen, you're gonna have to use reference from Google. You gotta have to make sure legit art by artists or anime art like artists for example here. So I have a lot of things to learn about the AI art and what to do for the newbies here. If you gotta start learning AI and just for fun, for me, that will be probably for you. However, if you're gonna use AI as a medium, you better start first learning how to draw by hand, and you not just rely on using AI without understanding about anatomy, the perspective, or even raising concern about the copyright here. Yeah, by the way, there's something I try to recall. Hold on a minute. Just a second. This one looks like from ChatGPT, so information provided like this one seems okay. At least it would be a different AI topic, not AI art, not 3D AI art, not generated AI 3D model. This one here, this is better and faster than Google, to be honest. Anywhere seal screen prints, Wars Pop approach Mona Lisa use seal screen. I'm gonna have to look for others. The best example here. Not as I expected here, but way before the Photoshop artists who try to create similar art but in its own version, next to AI art who try to create its own version. Look at this one from Raphael's drawing. This is done by hand, trying to attempt to draw Leonardo da Vinci's famous Mona Lisa, but on his own version. If you're gonna say that this is copyright issue because of exact pose, wait until this piece of art here is considered unique in its own version. So probably there will be a chance that there will be no copyright issues here. This is Raphael's own version, so there will be no problem here. As long as this art is not directly a steal or something like not involving about copying the exact original model and then altered a bit, that will be depend on the uniqueness. When it comes to art, you gotta have to create based on your emotion. Probably like, for example, in Raphael's drawing here, this is exactly the same one, except they try to interpret the beauty based on the Raphael's perspective. That's the mood here. If you're gonna try to create via AI art, it would be just something like altered with no meaning, unless you're gonna have to guide it with your artistic mindset. Using prompts or words would be a little bit difficult because most artists is through expression, not logic. The prompt when typing on an AI generated machine, it's all kind of logic. Unless if you know about the knowledge about the copyright loopholes, that's up to you if you think this is controversial or not. But you have to do it safely. So be smart. That's all I can say. Or otherwise, you're gonna have to create your own art and make a set of library to make it easier instead of using AI. AI is just like a reference, but still needs some guidance here and knowledge about discerning which one's real, which one's not. It's kind of a bit complex from the start, but trust your instinct. Try to discern simplest forms. Need a lot of evidence, but keep it simple. This is not kind of like a rocket science, but probably it's my own opinion or my understanding here. So if you try to generate an AI, okay, let's see if I could find the best example here about imitating art as an experiment in order to create something unique, something inspired from without copyright issue. That kind of art that is way before AI generated art machine like the Stable Diffusion or Midjourney invented. There's something way before that. Hold on. I guess this is the closest thing I could ever tell. If you say that AI art is kind of illegal because of copyright issue means, or AI art just simply steal by stealing the original reference and then altered a bit into your own version without understanding, look at this. Young Woman in Unicorn by Raphael, 1506, Portrait of Baldassare. You can check it out here, probably on the Wikipedia on Mona Lisa, somewhere in the mid page. Le Rire, I don't know if I pronounce it right, looks like French. The Laugh by Eugene Bata. Legu, Tea Time. Excuse me if my accent is kind of wrong. I don't know if this is French. Bear with me. Margaret Agnew, Mona Lisa. Those are their. This one here, this is direct inspired from Mona Lisa. This one, this looks like a polygonal style version of Mona Lisa. This one is a direct Mona Lisa with a pipe. This one, it looks like a biblical style art version of Mona Lisa, but different identity. And this one looks like similar sharing pose of Mona Lisa, but a different person. So if you're gonna tell that AI art is simply stealing and then altered, wait till you see all these 5 art from the past. This is where they created way before the AI art, and then consider it as a unique and original art that is directly inspired from Mona Lisa, and that is not considered stolen art. If you're gonna use the same technique as they did from the famous artists, but using on AI art, you're gonna have to make sure that this is something unique and different, and make sure that that art you created has a story behind it. Probably you're gonna have to defend it. This is like similar in thesis defense. You gotta have to make sure that if you're gonna use the AI art, you gotta have to understand about the copyright issue. You gotta have to figure it out how to create that technology in order to create something unique without raising the legal concerns here. The style and the theme could be subjective, but as long as you create something that is inspirational but not completely exact. And do not forget that before you're gonna use that technology, you're gonna have to learn about how to draw on the paper or how to draw on on stylus and tablet before you're gonna dive in on the technology. As I said before, that technology like AI needs required something, understanding. Try try to balance out between the traditionalist opinion and the AI prompter's opinion, and then figure it out. Find the balance. Do not stick on one-sided. Even though the times in art went modern, but please try to preserve and understand the fundamentals in art before dive into AI. AI is logical. Doing art by hand is expressive or emotional. Yeah, I was supposed to discuss about topic about opinions on Meshy.AI and then the pros and cons here, especially when making movable parts when you put it on Blender to make animation, especially in doing 3D models, especially on mechs. If you're gonna make human from Meshy.AI, no problem. As I said before, you're gonna have to make as unique and original as possible without getting conflicts here. And let's put it this way, since I'm still learning here, I don't know if I get it right, but I'm still trying to figure out how to adapt, and at the same time I'm preserving my traditional way of drawing by hand or by stylus. I'm trying to find the common ground here, how to work it out in the modern times. There's some saying here from the legendary Bob Ross. Sometimes when you make mistakes, sometimes it creates something happy little accidents. Sometimes the best art when you discovered something from accidental mistakes, but you end up something unique or something cool, then own it. Creativity is expression, but in doing some in the business like logo designing and you want to do it faster, sometimes you might need AI too. Or if you can challenge against the AI and using your traditional knowledge in making logos here, that's even better. But again, we're gonna have to find the common ground to harmonize between the AI prompters and the traditionalists, and how to eliminate the concern about the copyright and the loopholes as well. So I'm still new here. I'm not trying to belittle or judge between the two sides here. I'm just sharing about my thoughts here regarding AI. So as I said, as always here, this is Rave Machina, and this is for the quick vlog and opinion about the AI art versus traditionalist, and also about comment, and also about study about the review and study on Meshy.AI. So excuse for my English here. As I always, have a good day and keep learning, keep adapt, find balance, and remember, you cannot remove or try to argue between AI versus traditionalists. Sometimes we're gonna have to coexist. Sometimes we're gonna have to understand the boundaries here. There are a lot of things need to solve, so there will be a long way ahead. As for experience on art, just go with the flow, just enjoy, learn to respect, balance. That's all what it is, and have a great day. Satirical Mona Lisa. Probably better be careful. Just like I said before, plan carefully before you're making some Mona Lisa inspired artwork. As I said before, I'm trying to discuss about if AR really copycat any of the original works, but there is way before AI art. There are some artists who try to copycat Mona Lisa in their own version. But if you're gonna make that some kind of Mona Lisa inspired artwork that is unique and original and without copyright issue, please Plan carefully, regardless of your tools or medium you work, as long as you have knowledge for this. You can also check here on this Mona Lisa replicas in Wikipedia to gain more knowledge. Look at this one, and this one, and nude painting.